Straw Hut Media.
Hey everybody, this is episode 110 of Release Date Rewind, so thank you so much for pressing play. I'm your host, Mark J. Parker, a movie lover and movie maker, and this is an AI-free podcast that celebrates movies for their milestone anniversaries. Thank you for listening on your favorite podcast app, thanks to the Straw Hut Media Network, or you're listening on the You Run Podcast Network, or you're watching this on YouTube. Today we have a tasty comedy from November 1985, 40 years ago, starring fresh face and fresh blood, Jim Carrey, in his theatrical leading man debut, and that movie is Once Bitten. If you know what I'm singing, it's the theme song, the perfect theme song from 3 Speed. Cue the theme song. So grab your friends, wear your most 80s outfit possible, and if you'd like to watch or rewatch this fun movie before we continue, it's currently streaming in the US on Prime, the Roku channel, Tubi, Hoopla, and Trauma Now. All right, virgins and vampires, rise from your coffins and let's go to Hollywood because it's time to rewind. Everybody, I'm so excited because this has been a long time coming. My guest and I have been Instagram friends for a good few years now, so it's nice to finally have you on the show. We tried in the past, technical issues were getting in the way, but now he is here. Brian Tyler. Is that your last name, Tyler?
Yes.
Okay. See, I don't even know because this is our first time finally meeting. Brian Tyler is here. Hello, my friend. Great to finally see you. What is it? How are you feeling being on this podcast? You've done podcasts before, I think.
A couple, yeah.
Okay.
I'm honored to be here. I'm usually not on camera, so I'm a little nervous, but I think it's going to be okay.
I love it. I think you look great. I love this blue hoodie. If you're watching on YouTube, Brian is here. You see his face. Speaking of hoodies,
yeah, and
what do you got on?
I have an 80s. I don't have a Once Bitten t-shirt, but I have an 80s vampire t-shirt.
Oh my God. Fright Night part. What is that? Is that 4? No.
Part 2. No.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, was there a part 4? Oh my God. Part 2
there
scared me. There should be, right? Part 2 scared me when I was a kid watching it. Because isn't that the one with, there's like a vampire on skates?
Yeah, this one right here.
Yes.
Bella, yeah.
Oh, I really need to rewatch that. I'm so glad you're wearing that.
Belle, yeah.
Belle, okay. Oh, man. They scared me. Oh, my God. That, even though I know it's not like, as an adult, I'm sure I would feel very different. But as like a kid watching that on cable in like the 90s, mid-90s, oh, man, probably 30 years ago, I was spooked by that vampire on skates. But I'm so glad you're wearing that, Brian, because obviously we're talking about 80s vampires. Fright Night had come out just a couple months prior before Once Bitten, right? But also, I want to show you my shirt. I don't have a Once Bitten or a Fright Night shirt, but I have this old American Eagle vampire bloody t-shirt on. So we're repping the vampires today. So I love it. I'm loving what we're thinking. This is great. We didn't even plan that. I love it. So Brian, you were telling me before we nerd out and go back to the 80s, I want to hear about your life now. So tell me, wait, first of all, where do you live?
I live in Syracuse, New York.
Oh, you're in Syracuse. Okay, cool. I knew you were a fellow East Coaster, but I couldn't tell if you were like, in a city in New York, Philly, something, right? Okay, so Syracuse. And are you in school or do you work at a school?
So I'm in school. I went back to school.
Okay. Grad school?
Creative writing.
Nice.
No, I'm doing creative writing, and then I'm transferring and getting my English degree finally. So
good for you. Oh my gosh, creative writing. Love it. You're speaking my language. I minored in that in undergrad and then, do a lot of writing for work and everything. So, okay. So is this not grad school? Are you getting your bachelor's?
Yes. I've never finished school before. So
cool. Oh, that's so awesome, Brian. So how much longer do you have left of school?
So I have 2 years left.
Okay.
So yeah.
Nice. Oh, that's so cool. I love this so much. Are you loving it, or I'm sure it's a lot of work?
It's a lot of work and I'm loving it.
Yeah. That's good.
I can feel like, oh my God, I'm so behind because I'm going to get my bachelor's degree by the time I'm 40. But also look at strangers with candy. Like,
Yes,
so
yes,
some of
yes.
us are late bloomers. It's okay.
Hey, I love it. And speaking of late bloomer, we're talking about, virgins that, are losing it a little later. So great,
Yeah.
a little later. Yeah, right. Oh my God. I actually, I won't go into too much detail. I don't need people knowing all my business, but I lost my V card later than the regular. So I'm loving the late bloomers. I think it's great, Brian. So you have 2 more years. Are you doing it at night and working in the day, or are you doing classes in the daytime too?
I'm doing classes in the daytime. I'm working at night.
Oh, okay. Gotcha, gotcha. Cool. So did you just finish the semester or you're about to? Because it's like
Yeah, I
that time
just
of year?
yeah, I just finished a semester.
Nice. Congrats. Did you have like all the exams? I can't even remember. College was so long ago. I'm like, did we have
Oh.
exams? I think we did, right?
Well,
Ish.
I'm lucky in this semester. I had a final exam in Spanish. That's it. And then
Oh,
I had American cinema where I just had to write a paper.
love.
So talking about movies, that is fine.
Yep.
And then I wrote a screenplay for my screenwriting class. So
Oh, love it. A feature or
those
a
are my
short?
finals. It was a short. Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say, wow, features are so hard to write. Oh my God, I used to write features, and now I pretty much only write shorts. So yeah, well, that's cool. I love it. Screenwriting class is so fun, so fun. What's been your favorite class at school this semester? Screenwriting or American cinema?
I would say American cinema was
Mhm,
the most fun. Screenwriting felt a little like work, but I think in the end it like paid off the
totally.
most.
I bet.
I'm already working on like a screenplay in my personal, just for fun. So
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Keep going. Yeah, don't stop.
yeah.
What films have you seen? What are some like memories, like good days at American cinema class?
Oh well, so we had to watch a western. I've never been into westerns,
Okay.
so I had to pick a western to watch from his list, and
Yeah.
I watched No Country for Old Men.
Oh, it's so
Um,
good, Brian. Please tell me you liked it.
yeah, I did like it. I
It's
don't think I
funny, I don't
picked
even
the
really consider that a Western, but I guess it is. I consider it just like a period piece thriller, but yeah, it's a Western. Okay.
Yeah, we also had a film noir week.
Mm.
Um, and there was this whole list of film noirs, and I picked Mildred Pierce, which I had already seen, but I
I
never
have
thought
not
of
seen. Okay. As a
yeah,
noir. Yeah.
yeah, I never thought of it as a noir, so it was interesting to watch it in that context.
Yeah. Oh, that's so
And
cool.
yeah, my husband and I went on a whole Joan Crawford
Oh,
marathon,
love
which
it.
I think all gay married couples probably do at
Yeah,
some
I
point.
mean, if you
Um,
haven't yet, you probably should if you're gay married. You're right. And Brian, wait, speaking of, did you get married this year?
in February, yeah.
Oh my gosh, in February. Wow, so it's almost a year. Well, congrats. How's
Almost a
married
year. Wow,
life?
yeah. It's the same as just living together, kind
Yeah.
of, but
Uh,
it's nice. It's nice. I like it. I love
that's
it.
amazing. Oh my gosh, congrats.
One look and he was smitten. One kiss and he was bitten. One bite and he was hers forever. Once bitten. You may see a funnier movie one day, but don't stick your neck out. Coming this fall from the Samuel Goldwyn Company. Once Bitten.
Isn't it funny that like it came out November 15th of 85. So just a couple weeks after Halloween. I feel like that must have been a little bit of a weird time for that movie to come out. You know what I mean? It's kind of like a movie set on Halloween needs to come out in like before Halloween day or
Yes.
like summer. Like I just feel like then you kind of miss the window. But what do I know? Right? Do you agree?
I agree. That's how I felt watching it last night because
Yeah, you're
I
like,
thought it was November 15th. So,
yeah, I know. Because yeah, like I said, Fright Night 1, the first one, the original, the OG, came out in summer of 85, just a couple months before Once Bitten. Out of like 1, 2, and the remake, how would you rank them?
in that order, 1,
Uh,
2, and the
and
remake.
then the
Although,
remake.
I mean, 2's so much fun. Like, it gets better every time I watch it, I think.
Yeah.
I think maybe it's like neck and neck with the original. The remake's fun too. It's just not as
Yeah.
queer. It's
Ah,
missing the
yes.
queerness, I think.
You're so
And I
right.
did you know there's a sequel to the remake?
There is. I didn't
Or
see it, but I remember
I've
seeing the poster or something. Is that any good?
I've never seen it. I just
Okay.
remembered that
We'll
it
have to check it
exists as
out.
we were talking about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they called it, I think, Fright Night 2. I don't know what the subtitle was, but I feel like it was like a vampire lady, a lady vampire, as Robin in Once Bitten asked the bookstore owner, "Can vampires be women?"
Oh my god, yes. I laughed too. I was like,
She has some
really?
great lines, great lines. We can nerd out all about the lines. We'll be right back.
Mark Kendall's a regular guy.
Get me out of here!
With normal problems.
I want to, but I want it to be special.
Let's rewind, everybody. Brian, we are going back 40 years ago, 1985. So this was before our time. How do you think, when did you first see Once Bitten? Do you have any memories of like your first watch? Because I think for me, it must have been on HBO. I think it was cable, 10 years later. What do you think for you?
Yeah, it's like it's existed since before I can remember. Like I
Yeah.
used to just see it on TV all the time, and eventually I had it on VHS.
Oh,
Um,
love it.
yeah, it was like I used to fall asleep to it on VHS when I was in high school, and I thought about it, and I'm like, am I that old where I watched Once Bitten on VHS when I was in high school? And yes,
Wow.
I'm that old.
Wow, that's amazing. I love it.
Yeah.
VHS. Do you still have the VHS?
No.
Oh.
I didn't realize how cool it would be to have a VHS tape today, so I had sold most of my collection.
Oh, well, at least you
Brought-
sold it. Good for you. I don't even think I sold my stuff. I know. I'm the same way. I'm like, if only I had known years later that that would look so cool behind me or like in cool pictures. No, I gave all that stuff away, and like I still have all my DVDs, but I got rid of all the cases and they're just in a boring like CD binder, because of moving and
Oh,
city
yeah.
life. You know what I mean? Yeah. Wow. I never owned Once Bitten, but yeah, I watched it. I feel like a lot, but like earlier this year and like just in 1985 was such a stellar year for movies, especially comedies and like fun horror or like horror adjacent like action adventure stuff. We had everything from like Just One of the Guys and Breakfast Club and The Goonies, all this great stuff that I was eating up, like I said, probably like 10 to 15 years later by the time I was like of that right age to enjoy it. Like when you think of other 85 movies, like, I don't know, do you agree? Like it just was such a fun year for movies.
Absolutely, yeah. They had everything. Like I'm envious. Like I don't usually get all nostalgic about the 80s,
Mm.
but last night as I was watching it, I'm like, the 80s were amazing. They had everything. They had Once Bitten, they had The Goonies, and we're talking 85. They had Friday the 13th, Part 5, Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Super
Nightmare.
Gay.
Yes.
They had everything seems a little queer, I think.
Mm-hmm.
What do we have today,
I know. We
Well,
have
we have
like
a lot, but not in the theater,
no, and not as fun and not as queer, and because this movie's pretty queer. I'm sure one of the writers had to be gay or queer or something because the dialogue is just, I don't know, it's so good, right? Like rough trade and like I don't
Yeah,
one of them had to be queer. Maybe the director, I don't know, someone, right?
How'd you like your crotch set on fire?
Ooh, rough trade.
Sebastian as a character, he's amazing. The Countess and Sebastian and their like little friendship is so cute, actually.
Mm-hmm. How he takes care of her. He's not only her butler and chauffeur, but like he's like her. Oh, and he does her makeup through the mirror. It's so cute. I actually laughed a lot
I
at that. I'm
know.
like watching that younger. I didn't understand. Like, oh yeah, he's on the other side of this mirror without the mirror. It's just the frame, and he's just going through it to do her makeup. So clever, right?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
so good. But yeah, speaking of queer and fun 85 movies. So, like I said, this came out November 15th, just a couple weeks before you mentioned, oh my God, the iconic Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge. Brian, I got to hear quick thoughts. What do you think about that sequel? Because I actually love it. I actually think it's very scary. I think that was one of the last ones before Freddy kind of turned into full comedy and then New Nightmare made him terrifying again. But what do you think? What are some words that come to mind for you for Nightmare 2?
I love Nightmare on Elm Street 2 as well. I agree that it's scary. Freddy's probably scarier in that one than in the first one, I would say.
Agreed.
It's very queer. Some of it could be read as homophobic, but at the
Mm.
same time, like we all love Mark Patton, who is gay. We all love
Mhm.
Jesse, who's obviously in the closet. And I
Mhm.
like to think after the movie ended, they survived somehow, and he came out of the closet, and Lisa's still his best
Oh,
friend.
I love that, and he went on to become boyfriends with, the hot jock. I can't remember his name, but
Well, he's dead, but there's probably
yeah, he's
another hot
dead.
jock.
That's
There's plenty of
true.
hot
There's
jocks.
more. Yeah, there's some look-alike, right? Yeah, oh, man,
Yeah.
his death
But
and the
staying
chapel
on,
scene. Oh,
I got off topic. The movie itself, as it is,
mm,
though, it's imaginative. Like, it's obviously so different from the original,
yeah.
but it has its own, like, dogs with baby
Oh my
faces
god, scary.
guarding the boiler room, the bird scene. What was that? But I love
Oh,
it.
yeah. And then the whole bus stuff, like, in the desert, on the cliffs.
Oh
Oh my
yeah,
god, right? The opening?
like the miniatures. I miss miniatures.
Yes, miniatures, 80s miniatures. Amen, Brian. I know. So I figured you'd be like me and want to just give that great 80s sequel a shout out because that had just come out just a couple weeks prior. And other similar movies to Fright Night, we mentioned, I'm sorry, to Once Bitten, we mentioned Fright Night. And also
Yes.
Teen Wolf, Michael J. Fox Teen Wolf also was an August 85 release. Very similar vibe to Once Bitten. And I saw online, you might have seen this too, that apparently one of the writers kind of wrote this in mind for not only Elvira instead of Lauren Hutton, which I completely understand that fantasy, but also Michael J.
Yes.
Fox as the lead. But I guess at the time, the producers thought Michael J. Fox couldn't lead a big movie. They didn't know that Back to the Future was being made, right?
Yeah, and even if, Cassandra Peterson was the
Mm,
countess, but I kind of feel like it worked out exactly the way it should have. I mean,
yeah,
because Jim Carrey, you see the little touches of the actor he would end up being, like the physical
absolutely.
comedy, amazing. I don't know this, but I feel like he improvised some of it.
I
Where
feel
like,
like he had to, right? There are some lines that like, especially when he and his guy friends, like towards we're in the last act when they like break through the window of the Countess's mansion, and he says something like, "God, it's like a bomb went off." Like, I just feel like certain lines, I'm like, I bet you that's just Jim Carrey, just ad-libbing and improving in the moment. He's so good,
yeah,
so
and when
good.
he was in the clothing store and he was just like
Oh,
goofing off in the background. Yeah,
absolutely. I wrote literally Ace Ventura in the clothing store. Like he was doing things that
exactly.
I'm like, 9 years later during his big 1994 year with The Mask, Ace, and Dumb and Dumber, he was showing all those. And like this was before In Living Color, like it's a
Yeah.
no-brainer that this guy was going to be such a comedy star. He's so good in this movie. Michael J. Fox would have been great, of course. It's like a no-brainer,
Yes.
but Jim Carrey just brings this, like Michael J. Fox almost is maybe too innocent. Jim Carrey he knows the joke, and so he can play innocent but know if it's raunchy. And I don't know, you know what I mean? Like Michael J. Fox
Yeah.
is just too pure or something, right?
Yeah, like, I don't buy that he would go to Hollywood to cheat on his
Oh
girlfriend with a
yeah,
45-year-old woman.
you're so right.
Um,
Hollywood. I
but
love how they're all like, "You went to Hollywood?" Robin's like, "Hollywood?" It's like that's where you
yeah,
go, like to find the freaks and the prostitutes, right?
yes, Robin's too pure for Hollywood, at least
She
at the
is.
beginning.
Oh god, I love her so much. And then, yeah, Cassandra Peterson, I mean, of course, that's a no-brainer. I'm trying to remember, the Elvira movie wasn't out yet. I think that came out in, I wanna say 88, I
Yes,
think?
88.
Yeah, so she had her, like, TV show. She, wasn't the big movie star, I guess, just yet, right? But no, I agree. Lauren Hutton is having fun, and she's age appropriate, and she's hot with her boobs hanging out. And yeah, I just think what a great duo, Jim Carrey and Lauren Hutton, right?
Yeah, and Lauren Hutton, she needed this role. She's so glamorous. I can't think of many movies I've seen her in. I'm sure I've seen her in a lot, but this is
Yeah,
the first thing I think of when I hear Lauren Hutton.
me
She's
too.
just
I agree.
she's so fabulous in those.
I agree. And I
She
think it's because of our age and maybe our queerness or something, right? But like
Yeah.
I know a couple years prior, she was in the big American Gigolo with Richard Gere. And
Yes.
fun fact, oh my God, I hope you know what this is. She was in an episode in 1985, earlier in the year, of one of my fave shows, Fairy Tale Theater with Shelley Duvall. Do you remember that? Do you know what that is?
Yeah, yeah, I
Oh,
know what that is, yeah.
oh my God,
I
thank
love
you.
Shelley Duvall too, so
Yes. Oh, what a queen. I know. So, but I agree. She was doing some TV. She was in Paper Dolls was a TV show, I guess the year before. But I know what you
Okay.
mean. She kind of wasn't doing big stuff, so this was a fun way to kind of get her back out there, play up her sexuality, but it was still very, general audience, like raunchy teen comedy, right? Nothing as raunchy
Mhm.
as American Gigolo. Richard Gere, hello. I've only seen clips of that one. Have you seen that one?
No, I was afraid to say it. I've never seen it either, but
We gotta watch it in full, right?
I've listened to Call Me by Blondie a lot, so
Oh
maybe
yeah.
that maybe that makes up for it.
Yes, absolutely.
And
Love it.
I have seen at least one scene where Richard Gere's naked.
Of course. I mean,
Yeah.
are you alive if you haven't seen Richard Gere naked in one scene of American Gigolo? I mean, come on,
I didn't
right?
even look it up. It found me. Like it was on the TV one day.
I love it.
I don't someone was watching it. I don't know.
That's so amazing. Your devices are just like, hey, this is for you. You're gonna enjoy this. I
Yeah.
mean, such a baby.
It's like how a Madonna music video finds you when you're a
Oh,
kid, when
of
you're gay.
course,
Yeah.
of
'Cause I
course.
remember yeah.
Yes, you're so right.
I remember Express Yourself,
Mm,
Vogue,
of course.
and those didn't even come out, like, when I was old enough to
Mm,
watch them. They just
mhm.
happened to be on, like, I guess 3 or 4 years later.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
Um,
totally. Oh yeah, I love
Express
it.
Yours Like a Prayer,
Oh,
obviously.
iconic, right? Oh my
Yeah.
God. Yes. All right. Well, speaking of music and all that, why don't I set the scene, Brian? I'm going to go back in time with you and I'm going to tell you just what was going on in November 1985, music, popular movies. You shout out anything you think of. Okay. So, on the
Let's
music
do it.
side, this weekend that this film came out, the song We Built This City was the debut single by the rock band Starship. It had become number one on the music chart. The week leading up to this release, the number one song was the Miami Vice theme song, which I still have never seen Miami Vice, I think, in any iteration. The show, I've never seen an episode, maybe a clip. I never saw the Colin Farrell movie that they made like real, like serious. Have you seen any Miami Vice in your life?
No, I don't feel like I have to. Like, you don't have to see it to get the
Mhm.
aesthetic. Also, I
Totally.
forgot I must have missed it when they made the Colin Farrell movie because that
Yeah, they made like a moody one. I think it was
feels
Colin
like
Farrell.
news to me.
It was Michael Mann. Oh yeah, it was Jamie Foxx. Colin Farrell had
Oh,
long hair and it was blonde. And this was 2006. Wow, almost 20 years ago. Well, maybe you'll come back and talk about that on the pod. We'll see.
yeah, who knows?
Oh man, but so those were the popular songs. On the movie side, of course, this came out the same day as the animated movie Rainbow Bright and the Star Stealer, and a movie I literally didn't know about until earlier this year, and I gotta check it out. Different friends of mine rave about it. I wonder if you've seen it, Brian. Smooth Talk with Treat Williams and Laura Dern. Had you ever heard of that? Have you seen it?
No, I
Right?
have
It's
not.
it's a
Wow.
deeper cut, but some friends have told me about it and it turned 40 same day, November 15th, 85. And it seems like it's a pretty intense like coming of age. Like Laura Dern is a teen and Treat Williams is older and he is dangerous and they are like falling for each other and he's not who she thought he was. So, Smooth Talk, we got to add that to our long list of
It
80s
sounds
movies.
amazing.
It sounds amazing. I watched the trailer a
Yeah.
couple weeks ago. It looks good. So yeah, those two movies had just came out with Once Bitten. I love that Once Bitten was number one. It opened at number one for a week. You know, different sites say it's still never like it didn't do well at the box office, which is crazy to me
Mhm.
because it's like it was number one, but it only made like 4 million, which at the time was different than 4 million now for sure. But it made 4 million the opening weekend, went on to make about 10 million, which back then was different, but I guess it was considered not a success, but it's a success in my mind. I mean, it became a cult classic, I guess. Although I always ask the question, what do you think, Brian? Can it be a cult classic if it opened at number one? I don't think so.
Oh, that's a good question. But
Right?
you can open at number 1 and then be forgotten about by the next weekend.
True.
Well, I'm saying that with no I don't have anything to back that
With
up,
no
but
nothing to compare. But no, you're so right. Some
yeah.
movies you're like, it's the same thing with like Oscars. Some people win Oscars and you're like, she won an Oscar? And you're like, oh, you know? So yeah, some
But remember
things don't always stick in the mind, even if it is successful for a moment, right? What were you gonna say?
yeah. Well, like, Friday the 13th remake,
Mm.
that opened at number 1, right? That made, like, a ton of money in the opening weekend, and then the
Right.
next weekend, it dropped off completely,
Yeah.
but people didn't really completely forget about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it?
That's true.
Could that be considered a cult classic? Not a classic. I'm not going to give it
Gosh,
that. But
that's an interesting question because it's a remake. Can a remake be a cult classic? I don't know.
I don't know.
That seems blasphemous, right?
But Mark's just discovered
Hello, tall, dark, and handsome.
that his one-night stand
I haven't had anything this pure since the Vienna Boys Choir hit town.
has been around for centuries.
I'm 390 years old.
400 if you're a date.
Mark Kendall is necking
Finally happened.
with a vampire.
Did I enjoy it?
Let's veer away from Freddy and go to the Countess. Do you like how,
Yes.
I don't know if you watch Housewives, but Countess Luann, I just was doing a low, the Countess. Are you a Bravo fan at all?
No.
Okay.
But, well, I'm not going to say no. I haven't tried it yet.
Oh my
People
God.
keep talking about it, and it
I
sounds
can't live without
interesting.
it. I'm behind on all my Housewives. I'm behind on my Bravo, some of it. But if you ever have, I mean, which is impossible now, but I was going to say, if you ever have a lot of time on your hands and nothing to watch, again, impossible because there's so much to watch from today and the past, just do a binge of Housewives highlights. Oh my God. Anyway, okay. This Countess. So now, Brian, I'm going to talk about just our major players. I'll mention everyone's names. This was directed by Howard Storm. What a great last name. And this was his feature film debut, much like our star, Jim Carrey. They both had done TV. Howard Storm had directed different TV episodes. Jim Carrey, a couple TV, episodes, movies, written by three guys. And that's why I said one of them's got to be gay. Dimitri Villard, David Hines, and Jeffrey House. Now, a couple of them hadn't really done much else and never really went on to do much else. But, I'm forgetting there's another guy, and he's the most successful guy. All these guys wrote Once Bitten.
Yeah.
Jonathan Roberts. Jonathan Roberts was the fourth writer. And he went on to make big hits for Disney. He wrote The Lion King, James and the Giant Peach, Monsters, Inc., Hunchback of Notre
Yes.
Dame. Pretty amazing.
I was just looking at that before we started.
Right?
Before I
Random.
came on camera. Because I read about one of them. I think it was, his last name was House, who
Yes.
completely burned all of his money, went through all of his money that he made from the
Oh my
movie, and then
God,
he was
what a
working
mess.
at a video store or something.
Yep.
Yeah. So, but I didn't realize there were like three other writers.
Oh
So I
my
looked
God.
them up.
So
Yeah, and
many,
I'm like,
right? It's always funny when I'm like,
The Lion King,
yeah.
James and the Giant Peach. That's crazy.
Crazy. That's a pivot. That's a bit of a pivot from a raunchy vampire comedy, right? But who
Mhm.
knows? Maybe we have Jonathan Roberts to thank for some of that great sassy, quippy dialogue, because we get some of that in The Lion King. Zazu. I don't know. Zazu's giving like Sebastian energy. Let me just put that out there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, you're right.
Who knows? But yeah, I did hear that too about Jeffrey House and how I guess a customer was complaining about Once Bitten being bad, and he was like, screw you or whatever, right? So I think the quote on IMDb was like, whoever wrote this should not be working in Hollywood. And Jeffrey House was like, well, you got your wish. So, and he didn't really do much else. Neither did, I guess, David Hines or Dimitri Villard. So there you go. For anyone out there who's taking a risk and listening to this without watching the movie, or they haven't rewatched and it's been a long time, in your own words, it can be very short. Give me the elevator pitch. What is Once Bitten about?
It is about vampires, sex in the 80s. Is that
Love
the
it.
best I could do? I don't
Wow.
know. But that's, yeah.
Wow, you hit it. You hit it on the head. You're right. It's vampires and sex in the 80s. I love it. Done. Okay,
And-
great. Well, that's
and how
wrap.
it's no big deal.
It's a big deal for the kids, we'll call them, but to 400-year-old Countess, she's like, I gotta find a virgin, which I do love how they are, I guess, because they're in LA and there are no teen virgins. It's just I love how the movie's just basically saying oh, everyone in LA is like a slut. There's no virgins. At the end, she's like, I'll never find a virgin. Right? It's
I guess, yeah, that's the theme of the movie, is that everyone's had sex. There's
Yeah.
no virgins anymore.
Jim Carrey
There's
is the
no-
last. Jim Carrey and Karen Copens are the last virgins in the world in 1985. Right?
Yes, apparently.
Now he's losing his girl,
Bit my lip.
his customers,
Get out of here!
his image,
Look, I'm not there.
and his mind.
Can we just rave about Robin, please?
She was so good. Her hair gave me
Oh,
Courtney Cox in the 80s.
absolutely. I
And
was saying she was very Courtney Cox. Absolutely.
I mean, she started out, innocent, virgin, uptight. I didn't think that she didn't want to have sex. I mean, she made it clear, right? It's not that she didn't want to have sex. She didn't want to have sex in a car.
I
Like,
know. Come on now.
he
It's not
could
for your first time. Although,
ice
I mean,
he
never
take
mind.
your ice cream man money, and put it into a hotel room, and
Yes.
that would solve. You don't have to go to Hollywood. Like,
Right. You don't
relax.
have to, we don't really know
So
where they live, but everyone's like, you went to Hollywood, right? You went up to Hollywood. So maybe they live in like, I don't know, San Diego or something, right? But I'm right there with
yeah,
you. She has some class, right? I do love that scene in the beginning with them where they look around and all the cars are rocking from all these. We see a few butts in this movie and I appreciate it, right?
yeah, that was nice. I
Yeah.
felt seen. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. I appreciate
and
because we see that one guy's butt in the beginning during the humping in the cars, and then we see his friend's butt in the shower, which I thought for sure, Brian. I thought, okay, when we're in the shower scene, which is hilarious and homophobic at the end, but it's so hilarious leading up to that. But I thought for sure because that bar, the shower bar, I'm like, okay, they're all wearing like nude underwear, but no, his friend bends down, gets on all fours. We
on
see
all fours.
tiny,
Yeah,
right? I'm like, okay,
yes.
someone behind the scenes is gay, right? They have to be.
Absolutely. And
Oh,
I mean, the work it had to take to make sure the bar was perfectly
I know.
covering
I'm so
just
glad
the
you
right
thought of that
spot. I
too.
mean, I
Right?
appreciate the work, but it's okay if we see their butts.
It's okay. Yeah, if
It's
we,
okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
maybe if the bar was thinner or we were even further away to see some more cheek. I don't know, Jim Carrey cheek, right? But I love at least it's the kind of thing where like I don't know, maybe it was Howard Storm thinking, okay, we're gonna get the camera exactly precise. Come on, DP and
Hmm.
everyone, right? Because I thought the same thing, Brian. Wow, the trial and error with the stand-ins, if they had stand-ins, I assume they probably did. But like, okay, camera's got to come back, camera's got to go closer to get the bar just right, right? And so I feel like all of us were thinking, wow, the bar is perfectly placed with these guys. And then the surprise that, oh, one of them is now showing some cheek. It's just like, I just feel like
Yes.
Howard Storm was in on the joke. He's like, yeah, you thought you weren't going to see anything, right?
And I literally wrote homophobia because of what happens,
I
but with a
know.
question mark because the way they react to it is so ridiculous and over the
Mm.
top that it's almost like they're the ones who, well, everyone comes out of it looking ridiculous,
Everyone comes out of it
but
looking ridiculous, and I wanna ask
but
you, because I feel like it is homophobic, of course, we hear that terrible F word, even though it is funny. It is kinda funny.
I
So,
laughed.
I
I'm gonna
right,
be honest.
I
I
laughed throughout the
laughed.
whole thing from start of that sequence with Robin asking them to look at his thigh, and we'll tell the group who, if you haven't watched or rewatched recently, they have to look at his thigh to see because that's where the Countess bites. It's not a bite on the neck kind of vampire. She bites in the inner thigh. I guess there's an artery there. Yuck. But so Robin's like, even though Robin's his girlfriend and could totally be like, all right, well, we can fool around. Let me like look around your underwear. She's like, no, boys. You need to go look in the locker room, right? And the whole thing is so funny. Them getting so close, Jim Carrey, Mark being completely oblivious, which is just shocking. And then the shower
Mhm.
bit. But I want to ask you, Brian, can homophobia be funny? Because like you, I laughed even at the end, F alert, F's in the locker or F's in the showers, right? And they're all like, oh, they're gonna think we're gay. I was laughing about the whole thing. So can homophobia be funny?
If we find it funny, yes, we have
Okay,
to approve. And
final. Yep.
if the gay writer, because we know there is one,
Yeah.
if the gay writer wrote that,
Right.
I it's hard to tell,
See,
but I
you're.
think it gets a pass because we laughed.
I think you are absolutely correct. We approve, so therefore not fully homophobic, but I mean, the gist is, but at least we
Yeah.
can laugh it off and even their conversation after. Oh my god, it's so funny. We can talk about favorite lines and quotes in a bit, but anyway, back to Robin. What else do we love about her? She's played by Karen Coppins. I only really know her from this movie. Had you really seen her? I know she had done a lot of TV as well. She was in some movies. She did like TJ Hooker, The Love Boat, an episode of Amazing Stories the same year, 85. Had you seen her in other stuff?
I don't think I have, no.
Yeah. She's so
Yeah,
good
because
and
I
what a
looked at
great
her
character.
IMDb too, but I
Yep.
didn't recognize anything.
Yeah, I know she went
But
on to be in True Beverly Hills and some more TV, but she stopped acting in 94. So I guess she just lives in a normal life, which is crazy when you think 94 because that was her last work, it seems, at least on IMDb. And then that was when Jim Carrey had his blockbuster year of 3 number 1 hit movies, which just happened this year with Mason Thames. Is that the young actor's name? With Black Phone 2, that like romance movie Regretting You, something like that. It didn't look interesting. And
oh yeah,
the How to Train Your Dragon live action reboot movie. So how weird that, we're talking about Jim Carrey. He had this big year.
Yeah.
Now this new guy has this big year.
Mark's got to choose
It's like you're not the Mark I thought I knew. You look like Jerry Lewis.
between his first love
I'm the owner of the pants you've been trying to get into for the last 4 years.
and his last date.
What else do you love about Robin? About Karen
so
Coppins?
I can't talk about her without talking about the dance sequence.
Oh my god.
And because we had to get to that eventually.
It's iconic. Tell me about it.
That's where she becomes truly iconic, right?
Mhm.
Because someone let these 45-year-olds into the dance. First of all, where are the adults?
I thought I wrote the same thing. I'm like, why are the teachers not saying, wait, who is this woman and her strange assistant chauffeur butler? You guys are straight up adults. What are you doing here dancing with students? Yes.
And there's the dance off, and then she rips off her costume.
Oh my god. Hot.
And suddenly she's a badass, and she has this showing some skin, the see-through skirt.
Yes.
I'm like, okay, she's a badass. And then I love how quickly she what's the word? She buys into the vampire thing. Okay.
Yes.
She's not stupid. She sees that he has no reflection and she adapts.
Yeah.
And then she's hilarious because she runs to that ridiculous librarian who Did you feel like he was dubbed? I felt like he was dubbed.
He might
Maybe
have
it was
been
just
dubbed,
me.
or he was it definitely felt like he was putting on an accent. It felt like that
Yeah.
actor does not really talk like that. They wanted someone who maybe looks a little ethnically ambiguous and just lean into sort of,
Yes.
I guess, like an Indian, Middle Eastern accent. So yeah, maybe he was
Right.
dubbed. I couldn't tell, but he was odd.
Anyway, and she asked that hilarious question.
A lady.
Is there
vampire.
such a thing as a lady vampire? Because that's cute about her. She doesn't know anything about vampires. She doesn't know there can be female vampires.
Right.
And then I love just her whole journey to the end. Like she finally has sex, and it was no big deal.
No big deal. And they
She's
have
smoking a
cigarettes
cigarette.
somewhere out of nowhere, right?
Yeah, just like whatever.
And then they
No
go
big
back at
deal.
it.
We
They're
did
like,
it. Yeah.
let's enjoy it longer, right? Because they had to do it real quick before midnight, right?
So
Totally
I guess
forgot
that's
about like the deadline of Halloween night and all that. Completely forgot about that, right?
yeah. So yeah, she starts out innocent and uptight.
Mm.
She adapts to the situation. She's a badass dancer. Apparently has a sexy outfit underneath just in
Yeah.
case all the
Yeah.
time. And then she's like, let's do it. No big deal. It's done.
I feel like that dance sequence was like, okay, Grease, you want a love triangle on the dance floor? Well, now we're gonna really amp it up. And I even got some like Romy Michelle vibes from it. I just as
Yeah.
3 people dance. Of course, that's not a love triangle, and there's no animosity or anything. But I forgot just how great that hands-off dance sequence was. Oh my gosh, it's so much fun. They're all so good, but especially Karen Coppins. Like, I'm wondering, like, was she a professional dancer or something? Because she is moving and grooving. So much fun to watch them all, right? That whole scene. Oh my God, so good.
How would you like to spend eternity with me?
I can't. I gotta go to college.
Before his future goes up in smoke.
Did you notice there's 3 actors from the Friday the 13th franchise that appear in this film? So first, Dom Braskia who played Joey in part 5.
Oh.
Knocks on the ice cream truck in the beginning because he wants ice cream. He doesn't realize, Jim Carrey's not working. He's
How
trying to-
funny.
And then
Okay.
Stu Charno played Ted in part 2 is one of the vampires, like the cabin boy vampire.
Yes, I did know that. I love him. He's got such a weird, unique look. Yes. Mhm.
Yes. And another vampire, the first female, maybe is she the only one? I don't know. The first female we're introduced to besides the Countess is Carrie Moore, she's one of the twins in the final chapter.
How funny. I wish I knew that. I knew the guy from part 2. What is his name? Stuart Charno. Yeah. Cabin
Yeah.
Boy Vampire. He's credited as. That's
Mhm.
funny. I wonder if one of the producers produced that franchise. I know we have Samuel Goldwyn Jr., much like the Samuel Goldwyn like logo. I don't know, but
Yes.
that's funny. What a good movie trivia. That is so 80s. You know what?
Very
In the 80s,
80s.
I feel like if you weren't somehow connected to a Friday the 13th movie, I mean, are you even in a real movie, right? There you go.
Yeah, do you even matter to
Do you even
anyone?
matter? Right? Exactly. Frank Hildebrand. I wonder. Now I'm curious. One of these people had to, I'm sure. Oh wow, he went on to produce the Hills Have Eyes remake. Now that's a good remake, I have to say. That's turning 20 in a couple
Mhm.
months. But no, I love it. And it's funny because like, and we don't have to divulge too much if you don't want, but like when you were like 18, when you were like of this age, were you like the guys in I feel like every 80s movie and even I guess the 90s with American Pie? Were you like so focused about like losing your virginity, or were you kind of like, whatever, it'll happen? Do you remember?
I was super emo, and
Love it.
I wanted like I wanted to fall in love
Oh,
and
beautiful.
then lose my virginity. But
Yeah.
I was more interested, like I want someone to love me and I want to love someone.
I love that
And
so much. Me too. I know it's like, let's just
so
get the boyfriend first and then like figure out all that other stuff, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
so tough though. It was easier just to lose your virginity, probably.
I guess
Like
so.
if that was
Geez, especially for young
well, I
queer
mean, not for
boys. Oh my God.
people like us,
Yeah, but
in
for the
my small town,
straights,
but
yeah, it was kind of like,
yeah.
hey, you want to, yeah. But for the queer boys, queer girls, it's just kind of like, ooh, you got to be careful. Like,
Mhm.
who's like me? And like, then, back then when we were coming of age, we had like AOL chat rooms. Oh boy, so then it's like, you had to be careful if you're like, meet someone online. Like that was sketch. I mean, it still is pretty sketch
Yeah.
nowadays. So, you got to be careful out there.
I wish we had Hollywood. It would have
Right? I wish Hollywood was just a drive away and then you could just go into a bar with phones and you can call other tables. Can we please bring that back? That is
Oh,
so cool,
yeah.
right?
The lip
The
phones,
lip
that was
phones. Oh
cool.
my
But then
gosh, so
again,
cute.
obviously very, sketchy too because he ended up hooking up with a woman in her 40s who
Mhm.
very predatory.
Yes.
Um,
I want to look up
the
Lauren
other
Hutton's real age from back then real quick since we're talking. Because, yeah, was she? Because, some people like look older than they really, 43. Yeah, she was in her
yeah.
early 40s. Yep. Wow. So funny. Yeah. What were you going to say?
Oh, the other 2 as well ended up at a table with much older women.
Yes.
So,
I do love that this movie shows, middle-aged, well, is 40s really middle-aged? I guess so. I guess so, actually, yeah. But like, these 40-year-old women, married or, this countess on the prowl, as she says, at this bar. The husband walks in of the one woman, calling her a whore, But like these women were cougars and they wanted the teens. I do kind of love it. I think it's pretty great. Go to this dark, smoky Hollywood bar to find the boys. Okay. I mean,
yes.
better an older woman than an older man, I feel like, especially in the 80s. I don't know,
Yes.
Hollywood, right? Like that just seems dangerous, sketchy. Older women, of course, can be sketchy, but the two women that the friends end up with for a minute at the table, they're just like suburban housewives, like trying to like get lucky. You know what I mean? It's cute.
Yeah. Do I condone it? I don't know. But do I love
Good
to see it in a
question.
movie when the genders are reversed like that? Yes,
Right? That's a
it's
good question. Do
entertaining.
I condone it? Yeah, you're right. I guess we can't. But in a
You know what?
comedy movie
Maybe
from 85, it works, right?
yeah. Or maybe it's just none of my business, you know?
Hey, as long as everyone's at least 18 and they're
Yes.
into it and no one's being forced or drugged or anything, right? I feel like Mark, our lead, kind of gets, forced into it because all of a sudden Sebastian's there with the like limo and like, the car, and it's just like, get in. You don't want to go to the slammer, do you? It's like, well, why would he go to the slammer? He didn't shoot anything. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, he was just one of the many bystanders, but here he is pretending to be 21. He doesn't know anybody. He's like, oh yeah, I don't want to go to jail. Right. So I do feel like poor guy really gets kidnapped, literally. He's taken to her mansion.
Yes.
That is pretty scary, actually.
There
Right?
was some manipulation, but I like that his one goal was to lose his virginity, and he didn't even care if he remembered it.
Oh my God, I
And
know.
all
Sad. And
he,
there's
yeah,
probably a lot of teens just like that. I'm sure we know teens from like our high schools probably did the same thing. Thank God I didn't. I mean, yeah, you wanna remember that weird, strange experience. You know what I mean?
maybe,
So
I don't know. Yeah.
yeah, maybe not. Maybe not. What do I know? Right? But yeah, definitely manipulated. And it's funny because he thinks for much of the movie that he lost his virginity to the Countess when she doesn't. She actually wants him to stay a virgin. So that's like kind of a, evil twist for him. Is like, oh man, all this time you thought you got lucky with this pretty older hot lady. No, you're still your nerdy virgin self. You're just getting bitten 3 times. Well, no, not he didn't. She doesn't get the third bite, right? What fun rules? She has to have pure virgin blood from the same person 3 times before Halloween. Like, I just feel like someone made up those rules while drinking. That's like a, something, right?
Yeah. And it has to be separate days. You can't just
Yeah.
bite 3 times in a row,
Yeah, you
I
can't just
guess.
like,
So,
wait an hour and then take another spot. Yeah. And also, ugh,
yeah.
I see. I like a good vampire movie, but I am so. I mean, it's funny because I love horror so much, but I am so blood phobic, and especially like I can handle blood, I guess, stabbing like in a slasher, but when it's vampires biting and drinking, and I mean, half of this movie, I'm not gonna lie, I know it's a comedy, but I was kind of like, wow, and like when he drinks like the blood in the glass that his mom's draining the meat, and I'm a vegetarian, so also I'm just like, oh, um,
Mm,
so, but
mhm.
I also just with like vampire movies, I'm always like, when it is a movie like this where the vampire has to drink blood from the same victim multiple times, do they use the same like wounds or are they biting a different spot? I guess it's the same wounds, and that really grosses me out. That really grosses me out. I don't know. How do you feel about that?
Um, I didn't feel any particular way about it until
Okay.
now. And
Oh,
now
I'm
I'm
so
like,
sorry.
yeah, no, it's still not bothering me as much as it bothers you, but
Yeah,
I
I'll
I
try not
get
to think
it.
about it. Yeah.
I get it now.
Ugh, and I'm trying to remember, his friends, do they I guess the movie ends with them still virgins, am I right?
I think they sleep with the 2 vampire chicks.
Oh, yeah,
It
they
was
do disrobe, you're right, but we don't know, are
yes.
they bitten? Are they like, we need, like, a post-credits scene with them,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah, we
smoking
don't catch
cigarettes.
up with you're right, we don't catch up with them,
Right, it's kind of
and
funny, all this time spent with them, completely forgot about them, completely. I only remembered, like, really the main 4 that are also kind of on one of the posters, like, we have Mark, the Countess, Robin, and Sebastian. I only remembered them,
mhm.
So, I completely forgot we spend so much time with Mark's, sex-crazed friends, which again, in a mid-80s teen comedy, you gotta have not 1, but 3 sex-crazed boys. I mean, they are quite funny. I do love pretty much everything they're in. It never really got old, or it was always pretty funny. Did it work for you? Does anything not hold up well on the comedy side 40 years later?
Oh, geez, I think it had been so long since I watched a good, simple '80s comedy that I just ate it all up. Like,
Right?
there
Me too. Oh,
no
I see what you did there. Ate it all up. Vampire eating blood. Anyway, right? I agree. It worked for me because I hadn't seen this in a long time. When do you think was your last rewatch?
well, I showed it to my husband years ago.
Yeah.
He doesn't remember it.
Oh.
Um, I watched it definitely within the last 5 years,
Mm.
but and this is strange coming from me, but I didn't remember much of it except for the opening sequence because I had seen it so many times, like falling asleep to it on VHS.
Yeah.
Um, and I remember the music so well, the main title theme, and Sebastian
Yes.
getting the house ready,
Hmm.
choreographed to the music,
Yes.
which
And
is
what a great way to have the opening credits, 'cause, we don't really get too many opening credits much anymore nowadays, 'cause it's just like, just get to the movie. But what a
yeah,
nice kind of like, and it's kinda surprising for like a silly 80s comedy. It's a very kind of peaceful opening, right? Yeah, he's getting the house ready,
yeah.
we're learning him, we're getting the vibe right away, like, okay, he's probably queer, or he's very, like, fluid, and we hear this great music. Yeah, it's kind of funny because then the movie then really picks up after that. But I guess back
Yeah.
then they just sort of took their time getting the names out and like rolling into it, you know? Because a movie like this nowadays would just smash cut right to probably like right to the bar, I feel like, right to the lip
Yeah.
phones. Do you know what I mean? We would just get right to the
Right.
guys walking in and like talking about like trying to get laid, you know, and then we meet the countess there maybe or something, right?
Yeah, there'd be some dialogue like, "Oh, you haven't had sex with your girlfriend yet, and that's why we're here, huh?" But yeah, I
So yeah.
remembered the main credits. I remembered what the movie's about, obviously, the
Mhm.
dance sequence
Mm.
and the ending, the very
Mhm.
ending where they open the casket and they just had sex.
I
I did
I
not
forgot about the
remember
ending. I love that you remember that.
there were iconic scenes that I did not remember, like
Mm.
when
Tell me.
Lauren Hutton storms out of the store and she just shoves that old lady for no reason, and
I
then
love it.
after the dance sequence, when
Yep.
Lauren Hutton is storming out of the dance and she just shoves that nun for no reason. Like,
I know. I
I
wanted her
want
to do it a third time to like one of the vampires or something. That was like a strange, deep cut character trait that when she's annoyed, she she doesn't just push anyone. She like seeks out one person, you know, to just
yeah,
push. Oh my God, so funny. I'm glad you caught that
I
too.
yeah, loved it. That's
Love.
maybe if I had to rank, maybe top 5 moments from the movie.
I agree. I so
It's
agree
like
because the woman is like an older woman and she pushes her so hard. I mean, it seems to be a stunt person for sure, right? But then she goes flying with the rack of clothes in the store. So random. But I wanted her to do it a third time with as they're chasing this amazing chase around the mansion, right? Oh, so
yeah.
iconic, so amazing. I wanted her to like get angry and push not Sebastian, but maybe one of the other guys. Hey Rewinders, I hope you're loving this great chat with Brian as much as I am. If you are, please leave a rating, a review, and a thumbs up on YouTube right now, and send this episode link to your movie-loving friend or family member. And if you're in a giving mood since it's the holidays, please consider renting my short films on the new streaming site I co-created called Sparrow. And or you could, if you wanted, you could send your host a little tip to help me survive as a freelancer in this crazy, absolutely insane entertainment industry. My Venmo is at Mark J. Parker, and I will happily thank you directly and, of course, publicly too in the next episode. Also, before we go back to Once Bitten, I'd like to shine a spotlight on 2 podcasts that are part of the You Run Podcast Network with me, and those are You're Gonna Eat That Crust podcast. What a name, what a title, love it. Because those guys actually first told me about the network and how to join, so thank you guys. And I want to shout out the Reaction Shot podcast because the host, Dave, is such a nice guy, and he's a fellow movie nerd, and I always love our Instagram message banter. Okay, everybody, back to 1985.
Oh, wow, I love your outfits.
I'm not wearing a costume.
This is something I never knew. Did you recognize Megan? What Megan
Megan
Mullally?
Mullally. Yeah.
Mullally, thank
Mullally.
you. From
Yes.
Will and Grace, and
Oh my gosh, I'm glad you brought her up. I'm like, how do I know her? And then once we cut to her close up, I'm like, oh my God, Megan Mullally. Amazing. What'd you think?
I cheated because I went through the IMDb cast
Oh,
list, and
did
I'm like,
you?
she's
Okay.
in this, so am I gonna recognize her?
Oh, okay.
And when she was on screen, it took me a second,
Yeah, because
and
she's
then I
got
feel
lighter
like
hair, right? Yep.
her voice that we all know kind of came out in the
Mhm.
dance when she was entering them for the contest, and he was like,
Yep.
"I'm not a vampire." And she's like, "You nut."
Yeah.
I'm not gonna attempt the voice, but
Yeah. Oh, yeah. A little bit of that Karen was starting to come out. Karen
yeah.
Walker. I know. It was so nice to see her. I think her character's name, she's just in the one scene. I was like, can she be part of the dance? I think her character's name was Suzette, which is just so funny.
Yeah.
So
Which
80s.
only the 80s, yeah.
Right? Only in the 80s would you have a teen named Suzette, right? But oh, so nice to see her. And you know, I also caught another I would say for Megan Mullally it wasn't a cameo because she wasn't famous yet, but I caught oh my God, what is his name? Dean? He's got one quick moment, no lines. So I wondered if he had more and they cut. But there's a well-known actor, Dean Stockwell, is the valet attendant. Do you know who Dean Stockwell is? He died a few years ago. He was in Quantum
Jeez.
Leap. Um, he's been in a bunch of things in like the 80s. But anyway, random. If anyone out there knows Dean Stockwell, he's in this no lines I don't even know when there was a valet attendant. Maybe at the bar early on in the film, I think, in Hollywood. Must be. It's sort of like when
Mhm.
Sarah Michelle Gellar had her strange cameo and She's All That. Now we know because she was
Oh,
right there nearby shooting and because of Freddie Prinze Jr. But watching it as a kid, I'm like, why is Buffy in this with no lines? Right? That's
I
sort of
just accepted
being
it
stockpiled. I
immediately, and
accepted it. I was like, oh my God. But then I also was so annoyed. I'm like, wait, how is she not in the rest of the movie? Like this, she needs to be in the movie now. I was so upset.
yeah.
Right?
Nothing is sacred in a tasty comedy
Can I have one of those uncooked ones?
you can sink your teeth into.
How was it?
Delicious.
I loved the 80s music video dream sequence. I think there's 2 of them actually, where they're like having this little intimate dinner,
Yes.
and there's like fog everywhere, and there's this black swan statue,
Yeah.
and Sebastian's just in and out with the accordion. That was killing me. I loved
So
that.
funny. Oh my God, I loved it. And I believe, yeah, the first one is when they're at the table and she's like touching him with her foot. But that's the like I wrote in my notes, whoa, flaming nail. I don't think it's really Lauren
Yeah.
Hutton, but she lights a cigarette with a flaming nail. Amazing. Amazing.
Yes, that was
Right?
amazing.
That was like, whoa effects. And then the
That was
second
cinema.
one, that was cinema. Agreed. Agreed. And then the second one is when Jim Carrey's in the full like Dracula costume, and that's when he bites Robin. That's like a real nightmare where he's like choosing the dark side, you know? Yeah.
Yes.
So fun. It's very like
This
hazy, like you said. Yeah, it's foggy, it's very white. It's so 80s, it's so dream sequence. Like that is what a dream sequence is like spoofed on now. I feel like is
Yes.
this kind of, you know what I mean? I feel like it already was
Right.
basically spoofing it. So fun. I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah.
And just a really stupid little thing is early on when they're in the little burger joint and they have to show that this like completely burnt, blackened burger is not well done enough for Jim Carrey.
Right.
Just to demonstrate that if he wants raw meat, there's something wrong.
Something's wrong. Yes, you're so
Yeah.
right. To show, wow, we have one extreme to the other. It's not even like they didn't have to make it so burnt. They could have just given them the line like, remember, well done. I don't like it bloody. Right?
Yeah.
Or something, right? It didn't have to be, but then they have to cook him up another one. One of the
What
scenes
kind of
I
burgers? Yeah.
remember, right? He needs some crispy, which I mean, okay, I like a crispy burger. I mean, like a chicken patty, maybe, right? But I always remember the lunch lady once he's bitten the first time and
Mhm.
he says, "Can I have one of those uncooked ones?" Whoa! Again, I'm like, "Oh, no." But the way she barely really reacts, like, I don't know if she was a real actress, but she's great. She is so funny because she just kind of looks
Mhm.
at them the same way, unflinching, and just kind of gets the burger, puts it on this plate. We cut back to her. I just always remember that lunch lady. So funny.
Yeah. I've worked in food service actually, so I really related to that. Like
Oh, man. Yeah.
eventually you just nothing surprises you anymore.
Wow, Brian. Has anyone asked you for a bloody burger?
No.
Okay,
I
good.
haven't had that moment, but
Okay,
if
good.
I did, I would have went with it.
All right.
Actually, I wouldn't have been able to because there's food safety laws, but
Yeah. Well, yeah, back maybe 40 years ago, maybe the food safety laws were just like, all right, kid, Oh God, his poor parents. His poor parents are so worried about him because he's such a freak. It's funny,
yeah.
a movie that turned 20 earlier this year that I do love. It's such a mess. I'm sure you've seen it too. Cursed. Talk about Teen Wolf. Cursed.
Oh yes,
Wes
Cursed.
Craven, we were
Love
talking
it.
about him, right? The parents, the stuff around the house. Obviously, that was werewolves, not vampires, but like him in the house acting weird was making me think of Cursed, and I was like, I want to rewatch that. I missed it for its 20th
Yeah.
year this year. It's like
The
it's
raw
so
meat, yeah.
yeah, right. The raw meat, the blood, the bloody bits, and all that. Yes, same kind of thing. All these movies are kind of the same, right? But yeah, I felt for his parents and I love how his dad comes into his room and he bursts out of like the chest. What are you doing in there? Taking a nap. Like he's such a weirdo and they're so worried and drinking the blood. Oh my God. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I just realized how desensitized I am to certain things because it didn't bother me.
You should make
But
a vampire movie. You should totally write a vampire movie and
it
make
has
it,
to be.
and you would not be grossed out by any of the fake blood, which is obviously so fake, but still my brain's just like, no, it's real. It's real.
I'm actually, yeah, I'm working on it actually. But
Wait, are you really? Are you writing a vampire movie?
yeah, the thing I said I was writing is it does have vampires.
Brian.
It didn't originally, but I'm like, this needs vampires.
Are you being serious?
I'm being serious. Yeah.
I love this. Okay, this is so vampires are like right up your alley. Between Once Bitten, Buffy, like this is Fright Night. Like this is amazing for you. This is even more. I love it when this happens. Like every now and then, I mean, every episode I love, every guest I love, but every now and then there's like things just come together, and that's why you were meant to be here on this episode for Once Bitten. I love it. Well, now I got to read your script when you're done with it.
Yeah.
Will you send it to me?
In 2 years, yes, when it's finished.
In 2 years. No, you got to set your deadlines, right? You got to do some writing each day. That's what they say. Yeah. That's impossible for me. But, maybe a couple pages a month or something, right? Little by little.
There's so much. The Countess's, her casket with the pink satin, and she's got the television in there. That took me, I mean, you shouldn't watch TV that close, but I loved it.
Oh, geez, you're right. Her eyes. You're so right. The camp
But she's a vampire, so
yeah. I mean, yeah, you're right. I guess because I feel like some movies, whenever they're vampires, whenever they drink blood, everything's working perfectly anyway. So the more virginal blood, the better the eyesight, so she can watch her shows up close. But yeah, the camp factor in this movie is so perfect, and it seems to like not have gotten great reviews at the time. I was reading some like quotes from reviews were like it's got more style than wit, like it's aged humor. But I don't know. Maybe 40 years later, campy comedy has become so beloved, right? And like such a part of queer culture, such a part of pop culture now, with all kinds of successful comedies. So much of them are over the top that I really appreciate this movie even more because it's just so goofy and it works. It works really well. Those little details.
Yeah.
Right?
It's just cute. Like we don't have enough cute and campy these days. So
it's just goofy. You're right. Because even comedies nowadays, trying to remember the last one I saw because 2025 is just so rough, but I'm like, I just feel like comedies nowadays very, very rarely can they just be like stupid and fun. And it's as simple as 400-year-old vampire needs virginal blood and goes after a teen virgin and his girlfriend gets in the way. I mean, like, that's it,
and just 90 minutes.
Yeah. Great runtime. It's perfect. I wouldn't cut a thing, right? It all works really well, right?
It does, yeah. The only thing that I felt was unnecessary was the shower scene, but I loved the shower scene. So
I didn't find it unnecessary. I loved it. Oh my God, it's so funny. Completely forgot. Because I haven't seen this in a long time. It's got to be at least in full. Maybe a moment here or there. Maybe when I was on TV or something. I haven't watched this in full probably 15, maybe 20 years. It's been a long time for me.
Oh,
so
wow,
yeah. So I was like reliving even like the montage of like, why is this woman walking her pet lion on the streets of LA? Like
because it's Hollywood.
The writers were really saying something about Hollywood. Like they were saying like, Hollywood's fucking wild.
Once Bitten.
I don't want to be a vampire. I'm the day person.
I literally put that in my notes. Bring theme songs back.
Theme songs back. Apparently the band... Oh, sorry. Go for it.
Oh, there's just something about hearing a song in the movie that sings the title of the movie. And you hear it like 3 or 4 times throughout. It's amazing.
The songs, there aren't many songs in the movie. They just keep kind of bringing back the theme song, which works for me.
Yeah.
But yes, you're right. There are very few like songs made for movies that have, it's just called the title. You're right. It's and it's just all throughout. But I love the like there's a little bit of like stakes to it. Like it's not only fun, but like there's a little bit of emotion. Like I'm like, oh, yes. Right? We have like a mission. We got to get away from the Countess, right? Oh, so good. That's what I was gonna say. 3 Speed, I believe, is the band's name. I read, and maybe you saw this too in the trivia. I read that the band was actually, they filmed some scenes to be in the movie and they all were cut.
I did read that, yes.
What's up with that?
Maybe they were going to be at the dance at some point.
Right. But I was thinking like, because I feel like also high school like dances that had live bands, I don't know what that's like because that's only in the movies. Did your high school ever have a live band perform at a dance?
No, we wouldn't have
Right?
been able to afford that. Yeah.
Right? No one. Yeah, who's paying for that?
Actually, we
Who?
did have like talent shows where bands would play.
We
Like,
had talent shows, yeah.
yeah,
The bands were they were in high school, right? It wasn't like a band that like came to do a show for school that
right.
like, right? Yeah. So it's funny because I feel like that's
So
such a movies thing. Not only 80s, but even 90s too, with like she going back to She's All That. Well, no, She's All That. I guess Usher was the DJ. I should know. I talked about it on the show. There was no live band.
yeah,
But
he
like Jawbreaker, even
did Usher.
Buffy, right?
Yeah,
Buffy did some live musical acts. I mean, they were at the Bronze usually, but I feel like at prom, was there a live singer? Do you remember?
I believe at the prom there was a DJ because
Okay.
they played Fatboy Slim and that Wild Horses cover.
Oh,
But
Wild Horses, yeah. Oh,
so speaking of the music, I forgot about Hands Off, which is
Hands Off.
blasphemous, I
I
think.
know.
But
That's the big
in
dance number. Yeah.
in my memory, they danced to Once Bitten, the theme song. But
Oh,
I was
no.
pleasantly surprised to remember Hands Off
And again, it's
because
so on the nose. It's like let's make a song, play a song. I don't know if the song was made for the movie as well,
it
but
felt like it, right?
it was so perfect. I mean, you can just see Robin's face glaring at the Countess and then hearing Hands Off, and you're like, this is cinema. Like you said, this is perfect. It's sometimes
Mhm.
things are so on the nose that there cannot be any other way, right?
Yeah,
Like it has
it
to be that
really
way,
makes you believe in a higher power. Once Bitten, yeah,
right?
it
Once
brought
Bitten
me
is
to
my
God.
higher power. I love it. I love this movie because
Oh,
what do you think, Brian? Do you feel like most people that you know or that you follow, whatever, do you feel like most people know Once Bitten, or is it still sort of a little under the radar 40 years
I
later?
would I would assume we probably follow a lot of the same people on
Yeah,
Instagram. I feel like a lot of them like would know about Once Bitten, and I
right.
know my friends that are into movies, they definitely know Once Bitten.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like movie fans know it. If you're a
yeah,
casual movie fan, you're like, what is that? Like, huh? Jim Carrey did
right.
what? Like, so it
They would
seems to
probably
kind of be
be,
extreme that way, right?
yeah. I bet people would be delighted to learn about it,
I
because
know.
lots of
Wouldn't it
people
be
love Jim
so nice?
Carrey.
Of course, it'd be so fun. I mean, also, I want to ask you, Brian, as a fellow queer person, I never really thought like growing up like Jim Carrey was cute, but it's funny. Now, in my late 30s, when I see young Jim Carrey, like young, like in 1985, I'm like, oh my God, what a friggin' cutie. Does he work for you? Or are you like, nah?
He works for me sometimes. He is cute in Once Bitten.
Yeah.
I don't find like super goofy Jim Carrey
Mm,
very attractive. I don't
yeah.
like funny guys.
Oh,
Um,
okay. You like you like your serious vampires. Okay. You like Angel. Oh my God, I have to ask you, Angel or Spike?
Spike.
Oh, he
And
likes a
when
bad
I
boy.
was actually when I was a kid, I was obsessed with Angel.
Mm,
Now I find him kind of boring.
mm-hmm,
Spike has I don't know. He's very attractive.
mm-hmm,
He's never really done much for me either. I think
mm-hmm.
I've watched the shows too much. It's like I know them too well
Ah,
to
yeah.
find them
I need to do
attractive.
a before the new Buffy like reboot comes out. I need to do a full rewatch because shockingly, I don't think I ever have. I've rewatched episodes, but never the full series. So I cannot wait for that.
You know what? I'm actually gonna say all of the men are attractive.
Yeah, because then
And
we
I
had
just
Mark Blucas, Riley. He was a babe. He was like,
you
all
know
right,
what?
soldier boy.
Actually, he gets better to me with age.
Mm-hmm.
He was a good boyfriend.
What about Dracula? Remember that episode?
Yes.
Did he do anything for you?
He's cute. Yeah. But no, I don't like long hair. And
Okay.
I feel like I'm sounding pickier than I really am because I'm like, I don't like funny guys. I don't like long hair. But
Yeah, geez. At least your vampire selection is very specific. Any other things you want to say about Sebastian before we go?
Sebastian, weirdly, I had a crush on him when I was a kid.
Oh, I
And
love
I think
that. I love that.
because I had a problem when I was a kid where I liked the really like judgmental,
Mm,
snobby gay guys that
how
were
funny.
unattainable.
Oh,
And
interesting.
Sebastian was that to me.
Okay.
But I love Sebastian. Every time he comes out of the closet and he's wearing something fun, like
I love that she
um
knew he was in the closet. All right, Sebastian, come out of the closet. I came out of the
yeah.
closet centuries ago or something like that, right?
And how he collected
Funny.
all of Mark's buttons and he gives them
Oh
to
my
him
god.
before he
The
leaves.
buttons. Yes, we didn't even talk about the buttons.
We
Man,
didn't.
I forgot that buttons are a key prop. And even Robin at the end spits a button out. Like she's learning
Yeah.
from the Countess. Robin's like,
Yes.
this is what sex is. You have to bite buttons off the shirt. Man,
Exactly.
I felt for his mom because she's like, you have another shirt without any buttons. How is that happening? I'd be so annoyed if that was my kid. I'm not buying you another shirt, right?
Oh yeah,
A
because
button biter.
she paid for that shit.
Oh, of
Yeah.
course, right? He's still just a teen. So it's like, what's going on with your buttons? Come on, Countess. But yeah, I forgot he does clean up the buttons and hands it. Because at first I was like, what is that? I thought it was like, huh? And then I'm like, oh, that's when he gives Mark the buttons and then Mark gives them ice cream bars that then they throw away, which
Yeah.
I was
And
like, how dare. Please
the
give me.
look on Sebastian's face when he takes
Yeah.
that popsicle.
Ugh.
He had the best face expressions.
He's such a great actor. And that actor, for anyone who isn't sure, Cleavon Little. What a
Yes.
star. What a star. Cleavon. Oh, that's right. He was in Blazing Saddles 10 years prior, of course. I mean, what a superstar. Oh my God. And he had won an Emmy. Great guy. He died a few years after this. He passed away in 1992. So, man, I know him best from Once Bitten, but Blazing Saddles, what a career, right? What a guy. So
Yeah.
good.
And I love that he was allowed to call out the Countess and
Yes.
get away with it because he wasn't just like her servant. They were like best friends.
They were besties. Yeah.
When
Confidant.
she said, I forgot which piece of clothing it was, but she called it $200 and he had to tell her like, you paid $49.95 for that.
No, yeah. See, that's the
That's
thing.
great.
That's what's so good about this script written by all these men, because there are so many great lines. Like literally, as I was like typing some notes, I would have to pause the movie because then there was another great line to like hear. So it's a good script. Like I could see this being a fun like musical, like stage musical or like drag musical if they wanted to make like the Countess a drag queen or something, right? Like I just feel like when
Yeah.
scripts are this good and sassy and they move, I'm like, how do we not remake it but like do another version of it? That because it's just so good that like we need to honor that great dialogue. To me, Sebastian and Robin have the best lines. Robin, I forgot, has such great funny lines. She just says them so angrily, but like, man, she's got some good comedy to give, right?
Yeah, I unfortunately didn't think to write down specific lines of dialogue.
Oh,
But
I
can
did.
you remind me of some
Yes,
of Robin's lines?
perfect segue here. Okay, here are some lines. I'm just gonna rattle off some lines I thought were funny. Sebastian, did we get up on the wrong side of the coffin this evening? As a kid, I was like, oh my God, hilarious, right? Oh, Jim Carrey does say, which I thought was funny, right now I'm as close to physical perfection as I'm gonna get. This is early on when he really wants to lose his virginity, and his friends say, oh, that's depressing. Oh, we didn't mention this in the bar early on. Not only is the movie a little homophobic, but it's also a little transphobic. I mean, we can't blame it. It was a different time, very different time. But in the bar, there is that woman in the blonde hair at the table that calls over one of the friends. Are you a guy? And she says, does it matter? And then he runs off and she says, sissy. So a little transphobic, but again,
Yeah.
it was a different time, right?
It's really hard to pin down how they actually feel about queer people because
Right.
like you're supposed to like Sebastian, right? Like he's funny, his friendship with the Countess is great, and they get to survive at the end. Like they're not like punished for being who they are. So
If anything, they just kind of like disappear together and he says, I'll take care of you. I'll help you find a different virgin, like, and it's funny because she goes through all those amazing like aging makeup transitions and then ends up like in a hairnet. I'm like, why is she in the hairnet? And also for 400 years old, I feel like she would look basically like Norman Bates's dead mother's corpse. Like I thought like, come on 80s, let's make her really, I guess they wanted to keep it very, I was going to say kid friendly, but it's pretty raunchy. So, make it more, general audience, but wouldn't it have been cool if she was like actually like really ugly and nasty and like just icky at the end? That'd be pretty cool.
yeah, because
Right?
she didn't look that bad.
No, this is like, okay, you're just like an older woman in a hairnet, right?
The winner of the best costume contest is Mark Kendall as a vampire.
I'm not wearing a costume!
More funny lines. Oh yeah, when that husband shoots up the bar, a guy's on the phone saying, "No, don't hang up. This happens all the time." That made me laugh. I came out of the closet centuries ago.
Of course.
Jim Carrey, Mark says to her amazing naked portrait, "Oh, did they do that over at the shopping mall?" I thought that was a fun, cheesy line.
Yes, that was funny.
The Countess has a great line. "I haven't had anything this pure since the Vienna Boys Choir hit town." Ooh, I was like, okay, hilarious and like borderline creepy. That was after her first bite of Mark, right? Can I have one of the uncooked ones? Big luscious magoombas. I don't know who says that. I think it's his friends talking about the Countess's boobs, but that made me think of Yabos in Hocus Pocus. Oh, can I recite to you? This is when Robin really in the middle of the movie, she's pissed that like Mark lost his virginity, quote unquote. She says to him, "I can't believe you're willing to throw away our relationship on a one-night stand with a chauffeur and a butler and a slut who eats buttons." I was like,
oh yes, that was poetry.
Poetry.
You're right.
I literally was about to say poetry. Brian, you and I are twins. Poetry. I paused. I said, I gotta take a picture of those subtitles on my screen because that you don't say too many lines like that, right?
Right.
What else? She's young, she's sweet, and she's pissing me off. That's the Countess to Sebastian about Robin after the dance. That's when oh no, that's not the dance. That's at the clothing store because that's right before she pushes the old lady over. Yep.
Yes. Oh, this was in my notes. It's the one thing I haven't mentioned. Lauren Hutton in the leather jacket with the sunglasses. Incredible look.
Yes, and I'm glad you're bringing that up because that whole dressing room scene, oh, it's so fun. She's in there, no reflection, the clothes bouncing back and forth, Robin getting annoyed thinking that he's saying leave me alone to her. Great comedy. Oh my God, Lauren Hutton is so fun in that scene and in that outfit. Yeah. Yes. And how she just sneaks right out and Robin doesn't even notice. So good. The clothing store scene for me, top 5 moment in the movie. I forgot all about it. From the start with him acting like Jim Carrey, being goofy, to the end with pushing the lady over, A+ sequence right there, right?
Absolutely,
so
yes.
So good. Oh, I did write shirtless guy at the school dance, only in the 80s. I don't know what his costume was. Maybe he was like a Native American, but I'm just like, and I know his one friend is like in the toga, so he's kind of, but I was just like, in high school in the 2000s, no way. You would be turned away if you showed up to a school dance shirtless. But anyway,
absolutely. And 45-year-olds wouldn't be let in.
And 45-year-olds, yes. Someone I wanted at least a cut to the teachers to be like, who is she? Like, what does she teach? They could have one line. Which class does she teach? And they're like it could have been something funny like that, right?
Did you notice the teachers were nowhere to be seen until just when the dance ended? And then they're like announcing the winner of the costume contest.
They're like, well, after that very random choreographed dance, we had no idea was going to be on the schedule. Here's the winner. And it's Mark as a vampire and it's a costume contest. I'm like, surely there were better costumes, but
there were, but yeah,
he's gotta get it. Then we have the bookstore. That's where we started with, is there such a thing as a female vampire? Can a woman vampire exist today in Hollywood? And then the line, which going back to Hocus Pocus, these movies of a certain time, and maybe they still do it today, man, any teen boy that was a virgin would totally get made fun of. The bookstore guy says an 18-year-old boy would hardly be a virgin now, would he? I'm like, can an 18-year-old male virgin just take his time, please? These movies, what in the heck? If they want to, do it when they're 20 or whatever. I mean, right? I like I said, I was later, so I'm like 18. 18, I was like, whoa, sex. I was such a nerd.
It gave me unrealistic expectations, that's for sure.
Absolutely. The movies pressure you. Oh my God. More than Friends do, right? Okay, almost done. Oh my God. After the infamous shower scene, his one friend says we were enacting a prison rape scene. That didn't make me laugh. Terrible, but it made me laugh. They say we're homos, we're rump rangers. Only time I've heard
Yes.
Rump Rangers. How do you feel about it?
I've heard it before.
Oh, did you?
Actually.
I don't think I had
I
ever heard
swear. I mean, maybe I'm making it up, but it sounded so familiar.
Rump Rangers. Beautiful. I love it.
I'm
I
a
think
fan of
I'm a
it.
fan,
I think
right?
I'm gonna change my Instagram handle. I bet that already exists. I'm gonna look it up. I'm
Oh
sorry.
my God,
But let's
please
keep
do.
talking.
Yes, look up, please. If there isn't, can you change your name or at least create a Rump Rangers page, please? And maybe it's just screenshots of Once Bitten. That's all it is. It's just a Once Bitten fan page.
Mark, there's a few Rump Rangers.
Oh dang, someone beat us to it. I
Yeah.
doubt they're Once Bitten fans, though. I bet you
And
it's a
there's
different
a-
kind of ranger.
There's a Rump Ranger, a Ranger Rump, and
Oh.
a Rump Ranger 89.
Oh, okay. Oh my God, this was the rough trade. The one friend says to Sebastian, "How'd you like your crotch set on fire?" And Sebastian says, "Ooh, rough trade." When I heard rough trade,
Yes.
that's when I was like, okay, one of these writers has to be queer. Has to. Because rough trade is not really, unless he has like a very close gay friend or just, you know what I mean? Or like it's close to a drag queen. Rough trade, especially in 85, I don't know. I just feel like you're with us, right?
Yeah, the
Something's
influence is there. Yeah.
Right? Oh my God, Robin's iconic. So fuck off to the Countess. Beautiful.
Yes.
Remember that moment?
You're right. Yeah, it all came back to me as you were saying it.
Right? She really, the way she shakes that beautiful Courtney Cox hair. So fuck off. Robin is fiery. And you might have seen after a test screening with a test audience, they loved Robin so much, which how can you not, that then the producers put her on the poster at the last minute before the poster was like finished. Love it.
Yep.
Right? I mean, she very much, she has a lot to do. She's not just like a supporting, I mean, she's a supporting role, but like, she doesn't just like sit around. She's kind of giving, if this was like a horror movie, she is giving final girl energy. She totally is.
Absolutely, yes.
Right? Virginal, a little uptight, a little nervous, but then becomes tough and like, aggressive and knows what she wants. Then, at the end gets lucky, right? I have to replace every door you people smash, she says to her vampires. And then again, another great queer line for Sebastian, jocks. So funny. And then the last little bit is the coffin's rocking, and the Countess says, "You couldn't have. You were in there for less than a minute." And then they smoke their cigarettes. "You could have." And then I just love as she's changing. She's becoming an old lady. She goes, "Quick, somebody get a plastic surgeon." That was like a line that I feel like Goldie Hawn would say in like First Wives Club or something. Again, like that is just like camp quality. So thank you for bearing with me as I basically reenacted all these great lines from the script. And I think also what helps with the shower scene is Mark is not like calling them names. He's not like all that pissed off. So it makes it not so terrible, because a different movie, he'd be like, "What are you guys thinking? I'm not a homo. Like, don't ever touch me again." Like, then it's like, oh, you know what I mean? He's just like, guys, you could have just asked me, right? Like, and it's kind of just like three buddies just kind of like looking out for each other. I don't know. It's kind of touching in a way, but maybe I'm overthinking it,
I agree with you though. Yeah. That's how I feel.
Yeah. And yeah, hopefully those guys didn't become vampires. It's so funny. We never saw them again. I'm now tempted to like fast forward to the credits and see. No, I did. I watched all the credits. There is no final scene with them. They just get lucky, I guess, with the vampires, and maybe they're alive. Maybe they died. We don't know.
Very ambiguous. Yes.
Very ambiguous. Yes.
And it's a very ambiguous movie.
Yes. Well, Brian, thank you so much. This was so much fun. I so appreciate your vampire love, and you finally are on Release Date Rewind. I'm happy. Are you happy?
I'm very happy. I had so much fun. Thank you.
Good. A one-night stand with eternal complications. Be careful who you go home with, especially in Hollywood in the 80s. Thank you, everybody, for listening to or watching this episode, and thank you to my guest, Brian Tyler, for finally being able to join me and celebrate a movie we love. Thank you, Brian. Follow me on Instagram, pretty please, at Release Date Rewind to see more of this convo and this great movie. Thanks, Straw Hat Media, the You Run Podcast Network, Kyle Motzinger for the theme song, and the Portland Media Center in Maine. Next on the show, it's Christmas, so it's time to rewatch Just Friends for its 20th anniversary. All right, back to your coffins until the next episode.